All right, what's up? Shalom. As always, I'm thankful and I'm grateful to be able to come out here once again to preach and to prophesy unto my people, being you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. According to the Holy Bible, you are the biblical Israelites. This is based off of your father's genetic line. It's about paternal and agnet relations in which establishes your lineage. This is not a so-called black or white thing. Mingling those two shades together, you're going to get gray. There are no gray people walking the earth. Neither are there any gray areas concerning this truth. Okay? And seeing that our people are likened unto a speckled bird, meaning we look like all nations under the sun, I'm not out here teaching colorism. Okay? That was a false doctrine created by an Edomite, a Temanite. In today's time, you will call him a German. His name was Johann Blumenbach. Okay, he's the one that confused all the races based off of what you look like, eye color, and things like that. And that has nothing to do with your lineage. So seeing that I'm not out here doing my own thing, I'm not out here in my own name, I have to give reverence. I have to give all praises unto them, being the Father and the Son, the only begotten Son, whom has sent me to come out here and serve them another day. And again, seeing that I don't come in my own name, what is the names of them who sent me? Yahweh, Bahashum Yahweh Shai, Bahashum Warakakwadash. Peace, blessings, and much respect to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, on down to the rest of the elders who rule well within Israel. Salutations to the hopeful elect throughout the four corners of this whole entire earth, no matter where, whom they may be, or what they may look like. Pushing out this purified truth to the rest of the church who believe as well. You men who may not be teachers or prophets, you women, sons and daughters also. The water to Yahweh Shai, because without him enduring and going to that cross for the nation of Israel and the nation of Israel alone, none of this would even be possible whatsoever. So here in Babylon 2025, and what you deem as America today, this is likened unto many kingdoms that have been set up before it. It's also likened unto the Garden of Eden, okay? Because in some people's eyes, America is like a paradise. You have a lot of beautiful locations here in Babylon. You have a lot of rural areas. A lot of fancy, beautiful, gorgeous looking areas here in Babylon. But just like going all the way back to the Garden of Eden, you have a lot of women hearkening to the ways of the serpent. And you have a lot of men justifying their woman or these women following after the ways of the serpent. So seeing how I said, America is likened unto ancient kingdoms before her, including the Garden of Eden, let's go to the book of Joel, chapter 2. Joel chapter 2 and verse 1. Blow ye the trumpet in Zion, speaking of you Israelites. My voice is likened unto a trumpet. And I'm out here speaking for you Israelites. Today you would be known primarily as the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord cometh, for it is nigh at hand. So not only do I come out here to be a voice for you Israelites, every now and again, I'll say it at the beginning of my nations, but I'm also sent as a prophet unto the nations. I'll say that at the beginning of some of my lessons, okay? A day of darkness and of gloominess. Now, a lot of people, when they think of the return of the Lord, they're thinking of a day of peace, love, and hair grease. A day where people are going to give hugs. You're going to be handing out Hershey's Kisses and Pop-Tarts. toaster strudels. You're going to be drinking on pineapple juice. You're going to get a halo placed on the top of your head. Okay? White Jesus is going to descend from a literal cloud with both of his arms up, like he's being crucified as he's descending down, like he's about to give you a gigantic hug, and his hair's blowing in the wind, and he has a smile on his face, and he's open to Sodomites, Israelites, Moabites, meteorites. Okay? It don't matter what you are in the eyes of white Jesus, although he allowed his people to enslave you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Anyway, going back to the scriptures, man. This is Joel 2:2, a day of darkness and of gloominess. So the day of the Lord is not going to be this happy-go-lucky day. It's going to be a time of judgment. A day of clouds, speaking of chariots, or what you will deem as spaceships, and of thick darkness, because it's going to be a very dark time. From them nuclear clouds spreading across the sky, a lot of smoke. There's going to be a lot of devastation. It's not going to be a time where people are going to be smiling and, feeling good inside. It's going to be a very terrifying and dark time. A day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness. And I do recall in my dream that I've had about the lake of fire, it was nighttime. Or at least the sky was dark. As the morning spread upon the mountains, a great people and a strong, there hath not been ever the like, neither shall be any more after it, even to the years of many generations. But here's the point I wanted to get to in verse 3. A fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth. The land is as the Garden of Eden before them, and behind them a desolate wilderness. Yea, and nothing shall escape outside of the elect, that is. So a great destruction is going to come to Babylon. Babylon is also likened unto the Garden of Eden. And just like going all the way back to those days, the times of being in the garden, when Eve was deceived by the serpent, she hearkened to the voice of the serpent. And that information she took to her husband Adam, and he listened to her after him himself being told what to do and what not to do. And he did exactly what not to do by hearkening to his wife when she was coming to him with some filthiness, okay, with some bad logic. Okay? A fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth, speaking of them nuclear missiles. The land is as the Garden of Eden before them. So that's the point. The land is as the Garden of Eden. And in a lot of cases, these days are as the Garden of Eden, because a lot of men are following behind their woman. Their woman is tempting them, talking them out of their key purpose as an Israelite man, talking you out of fearing the Lord, talking you out of coming out here, talking you out of focusing on what's really important. Okay? And seeing that these days are likened unto the Garden of Eden, let's go all the way back to the days of the Garden of Eden in the book of Genesis, chapter 2 and verse 16. And the Lord power commanded the man, saying, of every tree of the garden the man saying, of every tree of the garden thou mayest freely eat, but of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil thou shalt not eat of it. So the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, showing you these trees are referencing not literal trees, but this is going into trees being the people, and the fruits that these trees produce are the things that come out of your mind. Okay, your beliefs. Among the sons of God, or the sons of Adam, The word was given to Adam. The word was given to the sons of God. They were living in righteousness. The Heavenly Father already had, his favorite separated from the other trees. But the other trees wanted to mingle and be like these other trees, starting with Eve, starting with the woman. Okay? But of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, speaking of these heathen nations, thou shalt not eat of it. For in the day that thou eatest thereof, thou shalt surely die. And eating also goes into being in agreement with them. Eating their philosophy. Okay? Their food for thought is the thought that you're taking upon yourself. It was told to us not to do that. But among our own, we was okay. Because why? The word has been given to the sons of God by mouth at this time. And the Lord Power said, it is not good that the man should be alone. I will make him a helpmeet for him. So a woman was designed to be a man's helper, not use him as a damn bag of money, not see him as a man that you put tasks on. A lot of you women, it's in your mind, you're only supposed to look for a man who's supposed to work for you. You're supposed to task him, okay? You want a man just so you can have your tires changed when your tires flat. You want a man just so he can, fix your pipes when you need some plumbing. You want a man around when you need some heavy lifting because you don't like lifting. A lot of you women are in the wrong spirit. You have the audacity to really be living in such a way. The scriptures tell you that she who lives in pleasure is dead while she lives. You're here to be a help unto a man, not to be his damn taskmaster. And a lot of these men have set you up in that position to think that you are here to be such a thing, a taskmaster. And the Lord Power said, it is not good that the man should be alone. I will make him a helpmeet for him. And out of the ground, the Lord Power formed every beast of the field and every fowl of the air, and brought them unto Adam to see what he will call them. Because, see, at this time, we were in a perfect heavenly setup. There was no death. There was no corruption. We were the gods of the earth, the Adamites, okay? Because Adam wasn't just one man. Adam was actually a nation of people, also known as the sons of God, who would later on be known as the Israelites, okay? Because that's how the Lord works. He does things in its season, okay? But anyway, let's go to the book of Genesis chapter 3 and verse 1. Again, seeing that America is likened unto the Garden of Eden. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field. And now we're in a time where the serpent has dominion over the Garden of Eden. The modern day Garden of Eden being America. Okay? Because you have certain countries, although many are waking up to the nonsense of this place, but many people in these other countries are looking at Babylon, aka America, as this grand, this great, this marvelous attraction, the city of gold. And you come here and you see the roads are all broken up, poverty's on the rise, adultery's running rapid, okay? Hard for people to find jobs. Things are just getting worse. But we're in a time now where the serpent has dominion in the Garden of Eden. But anyway, now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field. And today that would be the so-called white man. Out of all the nations, they're the most subtle. Okay? They're the most crafty than any beast of the field. And you're likened unto a beast if you don't have these laws, statutes, and commandments. Okay? In fact, I might have to, I have a couple of scriptures coming into mind. I may or may not grab them now or later. We'll see. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord power had made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, hath the power said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden? And the woman said unto the serpent, We may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden. And I'm going to say this. Eve was already going off because, first of all, you're not even in the presence of your husband, Adam. Why are you even speaking to this man? Okay, so Eve was already going off. And a lot of women do that today. They'll go behind their man's back. They'll receive some information from a whole different entity. And then they'll bring that filth to you. And even if they don't bring it to you verbally, something in their attitude changes. And a lot of men, they'll accept it instead of rebuking it and correcting it. They'll settle, okay? Which causes her to feel like she's a goddess, that she's to be reverenced and worshiped, okay? She believes that she's the one that gives life, okay? And the woman said unto the serpent, We may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden. But of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God has said, Ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. So you're not even supposed to be really dealing with these people. Socializing with them, listening to them. Just stay away from them. Like what we're supposed to do today. We're supposed to be separate from the heathen. But we're in a time now where it's very difficult to do. And then on top of that, some of our people actually look like the heathen. Okay, but the Lord wants us separate from these nations. And as always, our people always want to mingle and mix and be around them, want to take on their ways, their beliefs, their philosophies. Okay? But of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God had said, Ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. And the serpent said unto the woman, Ye shall not surely die. Why? Because the serpent, being a crafty heathen at that time, and they're still the same, but at this time they were melanated. Okay? But this individual man, who was in the spirit of a snake, and at this time he was a so-called black man, was telling this woman who was married unto Adam, who was joined unto Adam, that you don't have to listen to what the Most High told you. Okay? You could actually be a God yourself. You could actually be worshiped. God just doesn't want you to know that. Okay? That's how crafty he was with the woman. And the serpent said unto the woman, Ye shall not surely die, for God doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be open. So the day that, you basically hear our ways, you hear our fashion, you see how we live, your eyes are going to be open. You're going to see how much you're missing out. Okay? For God doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be open, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. So basically, your pineal gland is going to be open. You're going to know both sides. But to a degree, the serpent actually told the truth, because the Heavenly Father does know both sides. Okay? And seeing that at this particular time, they only knew good, Eve was now getting a taste of the dark side. And it started with the philosophy of a man in the spirit of a serpent. Okay? For God doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be open, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. And the woman saw that the tree was good for food, so she saw the information. She liked what she heard, because that's how women operate. They go off their emotions. If their emotions are in agreement with what they're hearing, they'll listen. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, food for thought, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to be desired, because it was already specified in Genesis 2 that the Heavenly Father made all these different trees to be desired. At that time, there was no blemishes on men. We all were perfect. Okay? There wasn't, all the wickedness and things you're dealing with now. You wasn't dealing with acne. You wasn't dealing with blemishes and STDs and health problems back then. People were all good looking. So even when Eve had laid her eyes upon the serpent was good looking in her eyes. So here it is. This man is telling her flawed information, but not only is it flawed in her emotions, it sounds good to her. And then she also is attracted to this man. Like, oh, he's handsome. He's telling me something that actually resonates with what I think is agreeable. And he's also handsome. Okay? And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, being the information, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, she thought he was probably good looking, because that's how women are, and a tree to be desired to make one wise. She took of the fruit thereof, being food for thought, his information, his philosophy, and did eat, being she believed it, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat, as in he believed it. Because it's not what goes into a man that defiles him, it's what comes out. When the serpent told this to the woman, that's not what defiled her. It's the fact that she believed it. It came out of her through her belief in so much that she told it to her husband. And instead of him rebuking her, okay, he agreed. All right? And the eyes of them both were open, and they knew that they were naked. And this was speaking of spiritually being naked. Okay? When you become a sinner, you're naked. They became sinners at this time. Sin is symbolic of you being naked, And the eyes of them both were open, and they knew that they were naked. They knew that they have sinned. And they sewed fig leaves together and made themselves aprons, or going into like a belt, okay, or something that you use as a covering for your loins. All right, but not in a sense of, oh, we're walking around butt naked, as in no clothes on, but naked as in, oh, we've sinned. Okay. And they heard the voice of the Lord Yahweh walking in the garden in the cool of the day, and Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of the Lord power among the trees of the garden. And the reason why they hid themselves is because they have sinned. They had sinned. They went against what he said. So they knew that there was a sense of shame. So being naked is symbolic as being ashamed. Okay? The problem with people today, though, especially among these women, they are shameless. I'm gonna go to okay, here it is. This is Romans chapter 5. Romans chapter 5 and verse 12. Wherefore, as by one man sin entered into the world, because he hearkened unto his wife. And that's the problem with a lot of men today. They're listening to their wives as they give them bad advice, bad information. Okay? You might tell your wife, like, oh, I'm tired, I'm sleepy, I'm feeling a little relaxed and comfortable. She'll tell you, well, you probably don't need to go out today. You went out last week, you can make up for it and just relax this week. As a man, you'd be like, yeah, that makes sense. I could rejuvenate, get my thoughts together. Next thing you know, you fading out, man. Because you hearkened unto your woman. Now, if your woman gives you good advice, cool. But that's up to you if you consider it. But if a woman ain't telling you nothing that's that's benefiting you, benefiting your salvation, you really shouldn't even be hearkening to it like that. It's really not that important. And if you do hearken unto something that she's telling you to do, just make sure it's not against the Lord. But that's against your that's according to your own discretion. Wherefore, as by one man sin entered into the world, being Adam, and death by sin, and so death passed upon all men, for that all have sinned. And because of sin, we all have become naked, so to speak. We all have felt that sense of shame for going against the will and the ways of the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son. Okay? Now, seeing how, let me find this scripture in Ecclesiastes. Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and verse, well, before I read this, but seeing how Adam hearkened unto his wife, a lot of men are doing that today. Eve had to have been a fine woman, and Adam had to have been looking at her like, I know the Most High told me what to do and what not to do. My woman's telling me differently, but she sure is looking good. You know, she looking fine as hell. So he probably folded, going off of his lust. Okay? Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and 26. And I find more bitter than death the woman whose heart is snares and nets. And Adam fell into that snare, that net of his woman, whose heart is snares and nets, and her hands as bands, because these women are full of traps if you're not careful. Whoso pleaseth the power shall escape from her. And Adam would have escaped from her attempt of trying to lead him to believing in something opposite of what the Heavenly Father told him. He agreed to it. Okay, he was open to it. He didn't escape it. Whoso pleaseth the power shall escape from her, but the sinner shall be taken by her. And when Adam hearkened unto his wife, that's when he fell off. Okay? Behold, this have I found, saith the preacher, counting one by one, to find out the account, which yet my soul seeketh, but I find not one man among 1,000 have I found. Or excuse me, let me read 28 again. Which yet my soul seeketh, but I find not. One man among 1,000 have I found, but a woman among all those have I not found. So your chances are a little higher to find a righteous man in comparison to a righteous woman. We live in a time today where these women have been totally overcome by the philosophy of the serpent. They don't want to listen to their men, because when they look at their man, they don't see power. When they look at their man, they don't see any man that should be reverenced. They see that they have all these options. They get all this validation, and with that validation comes a certain privilege. And with that privilege, they get blindsided into thinking that, well, if this man don't do right based off of what I believe he should do, there's 1,000 other men that I could replace him with. Women don't know how to separate attention from a man that actually loves you and cares about you. A man can give a woman attention all day and not give two damns about her, man. A man could actually have sex with a woman that he hates. Women don't get that. A man can completely hate a woman and still pop her. But women think that them being validated on Instagram, you know, the little pictures they put on Facebook or social media in general, it has really gassed them up. It's really hard to consider that there are elect women out there, because there are. Because mainly what you're seeing is a bunch of demons out here. A bunch of evil women. All right? Evil as hell, man. Let's go to 1 Timothy. Chapter 2 and verse 13. For Adam was first formed, then Eve. And it was the man that was formed in the image of God, not the woman. And Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived was in transgression. So the woman was deceived by the transgression, or excuse me, by the philosophy of the serpent. And then she took that belief and went to Adam with it. And then he was deceived. The serpent didn't go to Adam because Eve was the weaker vessel. It would have been easier to get through to both of them going through the woman than trying to go through the man. And that's how these heathen have always been. They've always tried to find ways to weaken us to go against our God, man. Okay? And Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived was in the transgression. Because through the woman, that's where sin came in. Second, the man listened. And then women being so wicked, they'll make the excuse and say, well, Adam shouldn't have listened. That's true, bitch, but you already messed up from believing in the first place before you even went to your husband. Okay? Because all you women are a representation of each other. Eve represents all you women universally, but it starts with the so-called black woman. Notwithstanding, she shall be saved in childbearing, if they continue in faith and charity and holiness and sobriety. So you women, you're acting as if you don't need a man, but you do need a man. You're going to be saved in childbearing. You're going to be saved with being with the man of the Lord, being with a believing man. Okay? But see, right now, a lot of women have become evil. They have become hard to bear. They become an enemy. This is Micah. Chapter 7 and verse 10. Then she that is mine enemy shall see it. So a lot of women don't believe they're going to be saved through childbearing, through being with an Israelite man who has this knowledge. In their mind, they have to see to believe. And they're going to see it. They're going to see that if you're not with the man of the Lord in the days to come, you got a lot of trouble on your hands. Then she that is mine enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her which said unto me, where is the Lord thy God? Because we come out here, we rebuke these women, we let them know about themselves, and they don't want to hear it. We've constantly told them things that men are not interested in, things that men are interested in. Even more important, what the Most High hates, how the Most High created them to be. These women just don't give a damn. These women are proud and they're very loud, man. Then she that is mine enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her which said unto me, where is the Lord thy God? You've been saying that. I'll believe it when I see it. Well, guess what? You're going to see it with your own eyes, woman. Your own destruction. Mine eyes shall behold her. Now shall she be trodden down as the mire of the streets. And the scriptures also tell you how we're going to have the power to tread upon serpents, man. Okay? There's going to be women in these days to come. They're going to get stomped out. See, it's been a long time coming for you women. You believe that a man shouldn't hit you. You're an adult. If you talk to a man disrespectfully as an adult woman, you deserve the consequences that come with it, because we're adults. Okay? Don't approach me like a man, and you won't get handled like no man. All right? You're not going to be up in my face trying to harm me, and you not catch a backhand. And you know what's funny? I've never had to hit a woman until this day, but I will if I had to. Don't get it twisted. All right? You women believe that a man shouldn't put his hands on you, and it's that attitude that has you also thinking you can talk to a man any kind of way. That's why a lot of you, your attitude is different towards certain women. Let's say there's a woman and she about to get into a fight with a bigger woman. Her attitude isn't as rah-rah as it would be with a man who's naturally bigger than her, because she knows She has 911 concerning this man, and more than likely, he's not going to hit her because he's a man. And there's society that's going to back her up because she's the woman in the situation. But she's not going to have that same rah-rah attitude to a woman bigger than her because she knows that woman will put them hands to them jaws, man. And that's the thing. You women, you really haven't been disciplined like that. So it's in the minds of a lot of you to do what you want. But the Lord is going to allow us men to see a lot of you women get judged right before our eyes, man. Okay? Mine eyes shall behold her. Now shall she be trodden down as the mire of the streets. And you women are in the spirit of a serpent. And we're going to have the power to tread down upon serpents, man. There's going to be women in these days to come. If you get in our face with that rah-rah stuff, you will get your ass stomped out. When this society collapses, all the games is done. It's over. And those days are soon to come. The Lord already has it in certain men to put hands and feet on some of you women, man, because you're out of order. You're adults. You're grown. And in the time of judgment, the Lord isn't going to spare you because you're a woman. Neither should you be spared of getting treated like a man if you want to act like one. Okay? I teach my daughter that. Okay? It ain't never a right time to put no hands on a man. And don't tempt him to put his hands on you. All right? Sirach chapter 22 and verse 5. She that is bold dishonoreth both her father and her husband, but they both shall despise her. And a bold woman, those be the same women, when a man runs across her face with a backhand, she want to cry and run to Esau. Or go and run and cry to her older brother or her dad. Okay? So, the time of judgment is going to approach you women very soon. You haven't taken any accountability for a lot of your actions for a very long time now. Okay? But that's coming to an end. Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 13. Ezekiel chapter 13 and verse 17. Likewise, thou son of man, set thy face against the daughters of thy people. So my face is being set against you wicked women right now because the Most High told me to do so. You're not off the hook just because you're a woman. You wicked women are going to die. Lest ye be of the elect and ye repent, all you wicked women are going to die. The Lord is going to kill all of you. Okay? Likewise, thou son of man, set thy face against thy daughters of thy people, which prophesy out of their own heart, and prophesy thou against them. And I can't stand, when I be trying to be respectful, because that's how I am as a person. I try to be respectful to everybody. Certain women think you be trying to hit on them or something. I don't know what they be thinking, but they'll just say certain things or just have a certain demeanor about them that really just make me want to beat their ass, man. Like, I'm a man. You're not going to be disrespecting me because if you were a man, I wouldn't let that shit slide that you just did. So don't think because you're a woman that shit's okay either. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these women, man, they have no idea. I'm not that man. All right? I believe a man is to protect his woman. But that's if she is a woman. Most of you women are monsters. Most of you women are dogs. Okay? Likewise, thou son of man, set thy face against thy daughters of thy people, which prophesy out of their own heart, and prophesy thou against them. So we're prophesying against you evil women. I love women. Women are amazing when they are in order. But see, we're in a time now where a wicked woman and a righteous woman, they pretty much look the same. Now, Solomon, he said among 1,000 women, he didn't see any righteous. That's not saying there aren't going to be any women saved. That's just saying there's a whole lot of wickedness among you women. A tremendous amount of wickedness among you women. And you don't understand that the day is coming that you're going to have to pay for that. The Most High is going to take the spirit off these men that be saying, oh, I don't hit women. The Most High is going to put a different spirit on men, okay, in these days to come, as it's already happening, okay? You got women at bars getting drunk, talking reckless to a man. The man hit her with an uppercut. She laid out on the floor. And ain't nobody doing nothing about it, okay? That's the time we in, though, the time of judgment. Now let's go to the book of 1 Timothy. 1 Timothy chapter 5 and verse 14. I will therefore that the younger woman marry. But nowadays, they'll tell you as a younger woman, play the field. Focus on your college career. You know what I mean? Don't be locked down to just one man. I will therefore that the younger woman marry, bear children, guide the house. Not wait till you in your 40s to all of a sudden want to be a good woman, okay? Guide the house, not be sneaking men in the house late at night, okay? Not inviting bad company into your house. Guide the house. Give none occasion to the adversary to speak reproachfully. But the black woman out of all women, okay? When I say the black woman, I'm speaking of Judah first, Benjamin and Levi. The black woman of all women are the main ones that give Esau a reason to speak down on the black man, because the black woman is the main one putting out the business that's happening in her household. Things that are supposed to be disclosed, that's between the man and his woman, the black woman will expose all their business to the whole world. Put it out on a video, okay? Damage that man's reputation. Have the so-called white man mocking him, laughing at him, locking him up, okay? For things that she may have been the cause of. A lot of women are a damn shame, and they're going to pay for it. Give none occasion to the adversary to speak reproachfully, okay? And women do that all day long when it comes to the Israelite man. You give ammunition to these damn heathen, starting with Esau, to speak against your man. For some are already turned aside after Satan. So many of these women back then, going back to the days of Paul walking the earth, guess what? Many women were already turned aside after Satan. Going back to the days of Paul, Timothy, the days of Peter, women were already turned aside after Satan. It's 2025 now. So what do you think is going on among these women? They have been turned aside after Satan completely. And the sex magic, and the putting spells or trying to put spells on men, okay? Just being totally demonic, totally narcissistic. A man will enjoy her company, actually be interested in her, and then that will mean absolutely nothing to her. Because in her mind, he said something wrong. In her mind, he didn't have enough money. So his characteristics, his personality traits means nothing. All that matters is, what can you offer me? How can you be my servant? That is the mentality of a fucking demon. Okay? Because even righteous men didn't want reverence like that. Even the angels don't want reverence like that, but these women want that. Okay? These women ain't right, man. Okay? And you men have done a very good job enabling their behavior. And a lot of you are also going to pay. So seeing that many of these women have been turned aside after Satan, let's go to the book of Sirach, chapter 26, I believe. Sirach, chapter 26. Okay, it's Sirach 25. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 25, and verse 15. There is no head above the head of a serpent. So going all the way back to the Garden of Eden, it was the serpent that deceived the woman and has transformed her into our enemy. There is no head above the head of a serpent, and there is no wrath above the wrath of an enemy. And I just read to Micah 7:10 that she that is mine enemy shall see it. Most of these women have become an enemy to men, have become an enemy to masculinity. They have deemed men to be the problem. There have been men who have sacrificed, given up their lives, have created, have made things easier for women. But there are women that have specified they wouldn't care if all men died. Today, they don't need men. A lot of women have said things like this, as if the Heavenly Father's not a man, as if his only begotten Son's not a man, as if all the holy angels aren't men. You women are crazy. You're insane. You're doing the same thing over and over and over again. And guess what? The results are going to be death eventually, as it's been. Okay? A lot of bees flying around. There is no head above the head of a serpent, and there is no wrath above the wrath of an enemy. Not a lot of bees. I'm really being dramatic. About 3 of them. I had rather dwell with a lion and a dragon than to keep house with the wicked woman. And that's how wicked you women are. You think being masculine, being domineering is attractive. And I know a lot of these men are soft as hell, so it's allowed you to feel like you have to be in your masculine. That's dumb as hell, man. Because a man being in his feminine, you'll end up calling him gay. Well, first of all, that's against the Heavenly Father and his Son. You'll end up calling him gay. You'll question his sexuality. But you women can be masculine all day long. And you know what's funny? How a lot of women, they'll try to get on men for being in the closet. A lot of you women are in the closet. A lot of you women are butch dykes, man. In dresses. You have your little get-togethers with your female friends, and y'all are snacking on each other. Y'all are telling each other or enabling each other to do whorish activities. Even if it's not with other men, among yourselves. Okay, but then you have the nerve to call a man gay because he's feminine, but you're masculine all day long. But nobody's calling you a dyke. No one's calling you a butch bitch. Okay? Telling you, so many people have the nerve, man. In so many ways, I'm so ready to see people shut the hell up. I'm ready to see it with my eyes, man. I had rather dwell with the lion and a dragon than to keep house with the wicked woman. She's going to be argumentative. She's going to spread your business to everybody. Okay? She's going to tell you that you're nothing, make you feel small. Instead of holding you up, she's going to hold you down. That's why a lot of these women will tell you, oh yeah, as a woman, I can hold you down. No, hold me up, bitch. Hold me up. You're supposed to be my pillar. A pillar doesn't hold you down. Okay? The wickedness of a woman changeth her face. A woman could be totally into you today. She'd be happy today. She'll wake up tomorrow on the wrong side of the bed. You're like, who in the hell is this bitch? She was literally just smiling and happy with me yesterday. We were playing. You know, it was good vibes. And then all of a sudden today, she acting weird as hell, man. She acting funny as hell. Or a woman will tell you today she'll never leave you. The next month, she already had it in her mind that there's someone better than you. And then when the day comes, she gonna leave you. The wickedness of a woman changeth her face, and darkeneth her countenance like sackcloth. Her husband shall sit among his neighbors, and when he heareth it, shall sigh bitterly. And that's why a lot of men, their reputations be tarnished. Even their neighbors know about their business. Even their neighbors see, man, he got a loud ass woman. They always arguing. He ain't got no authority on his woman. Oh, she probably fucking another man on the side, making him look dumb. Okay? Her husband shall sit among his neighbors, and when he heareth it, shall sigh bitterly. All wickedness is little, but to the wickedness of a woman, let the portion of a sinner fall upon her. And that happened all the way back to the days of old with Adam. And it's still happening in this very day and age. In this very day and age. Seeing that America is likened unto the Garden of Eden, Esau, Edom being the serpent, he's in power. And he has spread his philosophy all throughout the world and has deceived our women. And these women have told this philosophy to men. And because men want to get with them, they're enticed by it. They hearken, they listen. So the story has really been the same since the beginning. Men bowing down for women, giving up their manhood. And when I say giving up their manhood, I'm not talking about in a sodomite way. I'm talking about in a sense of your position. You're supposed to be a leader. You're supposed to be masculine. You're not supposed to be a tiptoe man. You're supposed to let it be known. It's like this or it's like that. If you ain't with it, you better get with it or you're not going to be with me. It ain't no, well, I'll reason with you. I know I said this, but you know, you do got some nice feet. So no, it ain't like that, man. You're already showing signs of why we fell in the first place. Okay, being weak over a woman. A man should love his woman, but you're still supposed to lead. All right? Philippians chapter 3 and verse 2. Beware of dogs. And a lot of these women are dogs. They're bitches. You got to beware of them. And what makes a woman a bitch? There's a few things. Okay? Well, I'll just say there's a couple of things, which really just breaks down to one thing. A woman who's not trying to keep the commandments is a dog, man. Okay? Beware of dogs. Beware of evil workers. Beware of the concision. And there's a lot of evil among these women. There's a lot of dogs among these women. Now let's see what makes you a dog. One of the ways that makes you a dog. Revelations chapter 22 and 14. Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life and may enter in through the gates into the city. And there's only 12 gates. For without are dogs and sorcerers and whoremongers. And guess what? You're also a sorcerer if you're rebellious. Rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft. And a lot of these women are into sex magic, you know, all sorts of magical arts, all sorts of dark magic. Showing you most of these women are bitches. Most of these women are dogs, man. And you men be too damn soft on these hoes, man. See, one thing about pimps that show that we're the Israelites, pimps are wicked as hell. Them niggas is evil, all right? But the pimp walk shows that we go back to Jacob. Because when Jacob wrestled with the angel, his hip fell out of joint. So he would start to walk with a limp, which would cause him to carry a cane or to walk with a cane. So pimps have that walk like Jacob and carry the cane like Jacob. And being an Israelite coming out of Jacob, you're supposed to have your woman in line. Okay? So the pimp walk, the pimp cane, and having women in line shows that we're the Israelites, but that's done in wickedness, man. Okay? Most of these women are bitches. Most of these women are dogs. And you men do be soft as hell on these hoes, man. You're not supposed to be soft on these women. I'm not supposed to, you know, give a woman my power. That doesn't mean I gotta be a tyrant. That doesn't mean I gotta call her a bitch and a hoe because that's what she is every 5 minutes. There's a certain way you carry yourself as a man, and it shouldn't have to take a lot of explaining. But if you're with a woman and she's trying to give you demands and you're okay with that, you're not a man. You're a punk and a coward, okay? If you have a woman and she's telling you she's going out for woman's night and she's dressed all provocative on top of that, and you justify that, you deserve to have your bitch took. And I don't justify adultery, but a lot of you men do not deserve a woman because you don't know how to put a woman in her place. You don't know how to tell her to shut the fuck up, man. Shut it up. I don't give a fuck. Shut up. Most of you, because you need some, You tired of going to OnlyFans, you tired of beating off, you're going to settle and let some woman conform you into a little punk because that's who you are. All right? You should have learned as a young man how women operate. For without are dogs and sorcerers and whoremongers and murderers. And a whoremonger goes into what I was just saying. Okay? Involved with pimping. That's a form of being a whoremonger. You're selling whores. You're selling women. Okay? And murderers and adulterers and whosoever loveth and maketh a lie. And these women love lies and they constantly lie. Okay? Showing you that most of these women are dogs. All right? Sirach chapter 26 and 24. A dishonest woman contemneth shame. A dishonest woman contemneth shame, but an honest woman will reverence her husband. So you know a woman ain't shit. You know she's a complete liar based off how she treats her woman. Based off how she treats her husband. A woman is known by how she treats her husband. If she's evil towards her husband, she is a ain't shit biatch. But if she reverences her husband, showing you that she's a gift from the Lord, that's a woman that's worth something. That's a valuable woman. Okay? But a honest woman will reverence her husband. And most of you women are dishonest. That's why you got all these men secretly in your inbox, secretly in your phone. You got men secretly hitting on you at work, and you don't say nothing. Most High gonna kill a lot of you bitches, man. A woman that honoreth her husband shall be judged wise of all. But she that dishonoreth him, I just skipped the whole verse, man. This is Ecclesiasticus, also known as the book of Sirach, chapter 26 and 25. A shameless woman shall be counted as a dog. So a shameless woman, a woman who ain't keeping the commandments, is a dog. You're a bitch. You're nothing. Okay? You're not important. And a lot of you women, you think you're the prize and you're just a dog. In fact, you're less than a dog. Okay? For without are dogs. I'm reading Revelations 22 again, my bad. Sirach 26 and 25, a shameless woman shall be counted as a dog, but she that is shamefaced will fear the Lord. Revelations 22 and 14, for without what? The commandments are dogs and sorcerers and whoremongers and murderers and adulterers and whosoever loveth and maketh the lie. That sums up most women. Most women are dogs. And you're not supposed to give that which is holy unto these fucking dogs, man. Matthew chapter 7 and 6. Give not that which is holy unto the dogs. That's why I'm not out here trying to conform you dumb hoes, man. I'm not Captain Save-A-Ho. I'm out here to seek out the Lord's elect. That's it. If you want to remain a hoe, you want to remain an ain't shit-ish, you want to be a bottom-feeding biatch, that's cool. I'm not out here for you. I'm out here for the Lord's elect, man. Okay? Because most of you are dogs. Give not that which is holy unto the dogs, neither cast ye your pearls before swine. You're a bunch of dogs and pigs. Lest they trample them under their feet and turn again and rend you. So most women, they're going to remain ain't shit bitches, man. Ain't no point of trying to get most of these women to listen. Because they've already shown that they're down with Satan, man. That's why most divorces are caused by the woman. Most of them. Okay? Galatians chapter 4. Yep, here it is. So this is the book of Galatians chapter 4. And I'm reading this because, you know, being a man, if you want to get a woman to show you who she really is, all you got to do is be honest, man. Tell the truth. Tell her, okay, yeah, I already got a woman. Watch her spaz out. Okay? You tell a woman that I don't like how that dress look on you, that's gonna offend her. You tell a woman to look like you gained about 15 pounds, you need to chill out, she gonna look at you like you said the worst thing that you could possibly say. And then concerning this ministry, it's the same thing. We're telling it how it is, and women hate us a lot of times. The man is over the woman. That's the truth. Now you hate me for it. A man is the table, not the woman. Now you hate me, right? So Galatians chapter 4 and 16. Am I therefore become your enemy because I tell you the truth? So most of these women have shown that they're enemies because they despise the truth. And the main truth is being this gospel. They don't want nothing to do with it. They don't want to be corrected. But a lot of you soft ass men, you're enabling these women. You're too weak on these women. Okay, you're supposed to be hard on these bitches, man. If a woman has shown that she's worth it, cool, you treat her accordingly. But you ain't supposed to be treating a hoe, giving her the gifts and the treasures of a righteous woman. Now you're not making any difference between righteous and wickedness. Now you're being a punk and unrighteous. Okay? You're not supposed to reward a wicked woman with a righteous woman's reward, man. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to let it be known, man. Whether a woman is righteous or wicked, you're supposed to lead. And being a leader don't mean you got to be a tyrant. You lead according to the woman, her spirit, man. Because if she's humble, you don't have to raise your voice. You don't have to be all domineering. But if you're dealing with a scorpion, you may have to come off like that. It's based off of your discretion. It's based off of your discernment. Okay? But most of these women, they're done. They're not going to be in the truth. They're going to be destroyed. For most of them. Sirach chapter 26 and 23. A wicked woman is given as a portion to a wicked man, but a godly woman is given to him that feareth the Lord. So a lot of you men, if you're dealing with a woman that's just too intolerable, too unbearable, you might have to check yourself too. Yeah, a lot of these women are evil, but a woman's reflection is a lot of times based off the man she's with also, man. All right? But a lot of you men, a lot of you women of today, in this modern day Garden of Eden, you're going to be destroyed. Thus says the Lord. And the Lord is getting tired of it, man. Tired of seeing you men being in servitude to these women. Tired of seeing you women in your pride and your arrogance, thinking you're untouchable. Okay? You've been deceived. I might bring out maybe one more. First Peter chapter 3 and verse 6. Even as Sarah obeyed Abraham. Yes, obeyed. See, that's another thing. You use words like obey to these women, they spaz out. They lose their mind. They flip out. These women are fucking crazy, man. Obey. Not me. Yeah, you, bitch. And if you don't obey, the Lord gonna slay you. No questions. Even as Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Lord, whose daughters ye are, as long as you do well and are not afraid with any amazement. So a lot of you women, you think you're righteous. You're nothing like Sarah. Sarah obeyed Abraham. Sarah was willing to share her husband. Okay? Yeah, there were times where Sarah showed that she wasn't perfect by any means. But in comparison to you women today, y'all aren't even close to Sarah, man. Okay? Likewise, ye husband, dwell with them according to knowledge. You're supposed to lead your woman, not lead her to destruction. Giving honor unto the wife as unto the weaker vessel. So knowing that your wife is the weaker vessel, If you're playing with your wife, you're not going to be all rough with her to where you hurt her. You end up knocking her hip out of joint. You end up making her pull a finger or something crazy, right? You know that she's the weaker vessel. So you cherish her as the weaker vessel. Just like you would a prized possession, it might be something that's made of glass, something that can shatter. You want to treat your woman like a valuable possession that can easily shatter. You know? That's why the scriptures tell you in the book of Deuteronomy, a man used to, be so into his woman and she was so feminine that the soles of her feet wouldn't even touch the ground, man. Okay? Now these women are willing to square up with you with their shoes off, bare feet on cement, ready to throw hands with you, man. Okay? Because they know in their mind they got the cops. They got society backing them up. They know you're not going to hit her back. Oh, I don't hit women. There's men who have been punched in the mouth, lost teeth, and have said, I can't hit you back because you're a woman. You out of your mind, man. You are out of your mind. Likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge. Use knowledge dealing with these women, giving honor unto the wife as unto the weaker vessel, and as being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers be not hindered. Okay, so we're supposed to be in agreement. A wife is supposed to be in agreement with her husband. A husband is supposed to be a protector, understanding that she's the weaker vessel. I'm the stronger vessel. But women also have to understand, you being the weaker vessel, don't fucking talk to me crazy. Because we both have our job to play. But a lot of these women are just too far gone. All right? Let's go to the book of Sirach, chapter 25 and 1. In three things I was beautified and stood up beautiful both before God and men. The unity of brethren, the love of neighbors, a man and a wife that agree together. And a lot of these women, they're just too disagreeable. You can tell a woman everything that you like, and she may do some of those things when she wants to, but overall, she's gonna do what she wants to do. You could tell her, I'm not into BBLs. I don't care about a BBL. But in her mind, she's still pondering on that BBL. You can tell her, I like your real hair. I don't want you wearing weave. She's still gonna go spend $300 on a goddamn wig, man. Because these women are not in agreement with their husband today. Most of them are disagreeable. They're dragons. Okay? And the Most High is going to make sure they get theirs. All right? Proverbs chapter 31 and verse 10. Who can find a virtuous woman? That shows you how rare a virtuous woman is in considering these scriptures. In comparison to the world, a virtuous woman is a woman that goes to the gym. A woman that can lift more than you or lift equal to you. She's studying martial arts, capable of whooping a common man. That's not what a strong or a virtuous woman is, man. A virtuous woman is based off what the Bible says. She reverences her husband. She looks after her house. She makes sure her household is fed. She's not giving room for the devil, to speak against her husband. Who can find a virtuous woman? All these women think this is them. All of them. For her price is far above rubies. See, a virtuous woman, her price is far above rubies. But a woman today will sell you what's between her legs for less than $50. Okay? And then not only that, not even to become your wife, just to be a whore. A real woman is priceless. A real woman typically can't be bought. Although back in the days you had something known as a dowry, a real woman typically can't be bought. She's priceless. Her price is far above rubies. But all these women today, they can be bought because they're a bunch of dogs, man. Not all of them. Most of them. The Lord just happened to give me a decent woman. I could tolerate her. In comparison to most women, she's very decent. Most of these women, they bug the hell out, man, because of the vibration that you wicked men have put on them. Okay? So I'm gonna go on ahead and close it. See if I bring out one more. See if I can find it. I'm gonna go to Ezekiel to add some balance, and I'll close it out. So this is Ezekiel chapter 14 and 22. Yet behold, therein shall be left a remnant that shall be brought forth, both sons and daughters. So there are going to be women who are saved. Not all women are going to be destroyed. Not all women are a bunch of whores and sluts. Not all women come from the same circumstances. Not all women have heard this truth. Not all women have had opportunity to make a change. Okay? Yet behold, therein shall be left a remnant that shall be brought forth, both sons and daughters. Both they shall come forth unto you, and ye shall see their way and their doings. And ye shall be comforted concerning the evil that I have brought upon Jerusalem, even concerning all that I have brought upon it. So there are going to be sons and daughters of the nation of Israel that are going to be saved. But you women have to understand, most of you are evil. And you have to know that so that you can check yourself and know how easy it is for you to be deceived into thinking you're not one of them. Okay? I pray that this lesson that was simple and edifying through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. So with that, all thanks and praises to our power, the power of Israel, not the power of any other nation. And because I don't come in my own name, seeing that I don't come in my own name, what is the names of them who sent me? Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Rakakwadash. Until next time, Lord willing, Shalom. I'm out.